Life has a way of surprising us, and sometimes that means finding ourselves single again. But at Single Again with LFA and Barbs, we believe in embracing change and finding beauty in every moment.
Join our community of strong individuals who are ready to take action and create a life they love. Together, we'll navigate the twists and turns of being single again, finding beauty in every moment. So whether you're redefining your goals, finding new passions, or simply seeking connection, let's embark on this beautiful journey together.
Search for Single Again with LFA and Barbs on your favorite podcast platform. It's time to embrace your single again status and live a life that's lively, encouraging, and beautiful.
Single Again
with LFA and Barbs,
where your story
begins.
Getting a lawyer, I want to advise people, do your research. Do your research. Just don't go get a 3 cent.
Anybody.
Yes. Don't just go and say because hey, I'm a lawyer, I do family law. I do family law will not get you what you need. Even if at the end of the day you don't get much out of it or you don't get anything, but you fought for what you need.
Especially when children are
involved. Yes. I remember in my own case, I was like, you know what? I don't want anything. I don't need anything. I just want to leave. I have a job. I will, I'll be fine. I just want to leave. Like, it was like a heavy burden, like a mountain was lifted off me, so I just want to leave, and that's where, when you have a good lawyer, that is where it comes in. That's when you know that, yes, I have a good lawyer. And talking about lawyer, we'll also be talking about support system, and that is your tribe. Who are my tribe? Because that's also very important in this
It's very important. That's the network around you. And, whether they're very supportive or judgmental or ostracized or very distant, it all has an impact. It really does.
It does. And that's one thing I tell people. Yeah. I tell people that I am very blessed. My support system is huge.
Wonderful.
I never believed that. Of course, I know I have one or two friends that, I know that I could rely on. But the dynamic changes when you're single again. The dynamic changes, even though you still want to be part of those friends. But the dynamic will change because you feel like, and you know how it is sometimes, people will be like, oh, she's not married? Okay, I don't want her around.
You're not in the same club anymore.
Not anymore, because we don't talk about the same things that we used to.
Can't talk about me and my husband and make you feel guilty about your not having your own.
Yes. So the dynamic changes. Yes. But at the same time, I tell myself and I tell people, I pray for my friends that are still married. Marriage is sweet. I love love.
Sweet. That's institution of God. And it must be maintained. You just don't maintain it at all costs. That's all.
Yes. And I pray for all of my friends that are still married, and I pray continually that they will remain married until death do them part.
Yes.
However, I have a lot of friends that have walked this journey before. So I have a handful of friends that are like, oh, okay, we understand the stage where you are. It's okay. It's a normal process,
Better.
Yes, they encourage, they motivate, they check in on you. That goes a long way. You need that support system. And as you're doing everything, you carry your support system along, and you carry your lawyer along as well. You document every detail, every communication, every conversation. You're documenting. Every feelings you're documenting. And again, I will never underestimate the power of therapy.
Guys, we're both in therapy.
Yes, I am. Yes, we are in therapy. So I would never underestimate the power of therapy for you, for your kids, if kids are involved, you know. And I am of the opinion that kids are like the secondary recipient of this trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And the secondary recipients are more traumatized than the primary recipients.
Yeah.
So please, guys, whatever you do as you're navigating this, do not navigate it alone. And that's why we have Single Again with LFA and Barb. Join us on this podcast and listen
Let's have
to
a
us.
chat. Yeah.
Yes, send us your questions, send us suggestions, send us concern. Please, we don't want you to work it alone. I didn't work it alone. If I work it alone, I probably wouldn't even be where I am today. And I'm sure the same thing with Barb.
Yes, you can't. It's not a lonely journey. And especially with children. You see, the thing is, whilst you're even trying to think you're the head of the family now, you're navigating, you're signing that, you're going through the processes, you're doing the things, rearranging things, managing things, and doing all of that, the children are behind you. So they're also absorbing the residual that is really on them. So they're also going through it and struggling. And sometimes if you're not careful, you might just give them, you take the bread, you're okay, and sit there. You're having your rights, you're okay. So you're not engaging them, you're not including them. Because you feel you're the one that has the authority and the responsibility to go ahead. So you can run ahead of yourself and actually leave them. And then it becomes, so that's why, that what Lolo is saying, it's really important that even if it's through therapy you're doing, the children be a part of it. The network that you have around you, your support system,
very important.
How close and how tight and how dependable, and what knowledge do they have? Sometimes we have a thing that, for me, I think is socially, we like it when people look up to us all the time. What you don't realize is, as a whole lot of people looking up to you, they are taking from you.
Yes.
Now, what is your network that you can get things out
Take
of?
From.
What is the type of people, the group of people that are around you? What is their mentality? Do you think the same? Are they on your wavelength? Are they able to help you when you actually do need help?
Need them.
Or you have to actually help them and help yourself. And when you're suddenly in a way where you need support, there really isn't anything you can get from there, and everything you're getting is from a solicitor. That can be very, very difficult when you're navigating through this, because that your support network or your support system, they are the people who have been around when you're going through what you're going through. So they've seen some of the things you haven't told them, that they've been around. They know there's certain things they haven't talked about, that they know, but you haven't discussed it. So if they are not the strong people that you need, the ones with the right leadership skills that you need, it makes the journey also difficult. So if you are single again, reanalyze the group of people that you have around you.
Yes.
Because we have all manner of people around us, but they're all in tears. For me, I always say I'm very busy. I have loads of friends, but what conversation I have with Lola, it's not the same conversation I'll have with Amma. What conversation I have with Joyce may not be the same that I have with Ruth, because what are
the wavelength is different.
Yes. So therefore, you need to be in a place where actually this thing is burning on my heart. Maybe there is somebody that actually knows me before I fell into this category of being single again. So I can talk to them because they know who I am. So where my emotions are so messed up, I'm not thinking strategically. They can sometimes remind you of who you are, the strengths that you have, the abilities that you've had and actually used to help them. But now that is you're emotional and not getting there. Are they able to kind of help you bring yourself? And I think it's very, very important. It's not a journey to navigate on your own. At the same time, it's also not everybody's business what you do.
Not. Yes.
It's also your own business, but you need to be the ringleader in how you get to where you want to be. Because you made a decision because you wanted something for you. What is it that you wanted? Because the journey must have an end.
It must have an end.
And a journey must have an end. So the decision you made that you're starting on this path, where you looking to be? How are you to get there? On that path, what jobs? I mean, for me, we're believers. So yes, everything God first. I get out and God, this is where I am. I'm crying to you. Give me the strength, the ability, the wisdom, understanding, because the Bible says, all things pertaining to life you have given me.
He has given me.
Let me see and touch it. And
yes.
So what is the network around you that can help you through this journey? It's a journey. It's a journey that has a destination.
Yes.
Because otherwise, you ain't finishing that.
It's and I just want to throw it here that even though we are navigating this journey with our tribe, we should be very conscious, because some people will make you burn out easily. Like Barbara said, that are these people taking from you? A lot of people look up to you and they take from us. And the people you are supposed to be taken from, if they're taking from you again, you're going to burn out. And it is okay. Honestly, give yourself the permission to walk away from people.
Please do.
You owe nobody any explanation. I don't need to tell you what happened. You want to believe whatever you want to believe, it's up to you. I don't have to tell you that. But whatever it is, give yourself permission to walk away. Listen, you're not in that guy's house, or you're not living with that woman anymore, and nobody will be like, oh, she was rude to me, or oh, why didn't she respect me? She should have called to make, to share this with me. No, you don't have to. This is the time for you to take your power back. And if the fault was from you, this is a reflection time. As you're navigating, you're reflecting on what happened. Where did I go wrong? Where did I get it wrong? How do I right my wrong? And pick it up from there and, keep it moving.
And it's very important. It really, really is. Because I have this thing about they're saying, oh, have you heard what they're saying about you?
I don't
care. Need to get to a place where you owe no one explanation. If Lola came to say to you, oh, guess what that person said about you at church? And then you go to that person to explain to them, what happened to the person who said it to the person who said it to the person for it before you got to Lola? You're going to be able to step back and step back and step back and explain? No. The people who care about you enough will tell you about what they've heard and say, can you tell me what is this about?
Yes.
Then you can choose to explain to them. But to think you need to go about explaining yourself so that your story is nice, it doesn't help your journey.
It doesn't.
Because you have to focus your energy on getting you strong. You can't go around correcting everybody's conversation. So you need to be in a place where you say, it is what it is. I am here and I'm making my way forward.
And make your way forward with a swag.
Oh, yes. And the swag must be on. The smile must be on. And I think it really helps to know that, okay, I'm here. Whether I made the decision or I was forced into the decision, I am here.
Yeah.
What happens now? And give yourself also, don't overburden yourself with, big decisions that are going to weigh you down. Take one step at a time. What is the immediacy in your life? What, for instance, I left with children. So, okay, I've left my home. I've gone to completely somewhere different. Children must still come to school.
Yes. Yes.
What am I going to do to get them to school and to get to work? Their routine has changed. How am I going to make it so that it doesn't seem so strenuous for them that me as an adult has made a decision and then they're going to suffer? This is where the Bible says our grandfathers have eaten their grapes and we are nationality.
Yeah.
Because as Africans, we have a way of shouting at our children and giving them our problems unnecessarily.
Yes,
you don't know what I'm going through. What is it with you that you're disturbing me? But the child never made that decision. They were not party to it. If you have made it, you better make sure that you have put them in a position where they don't feel the stress. They will see you in stress, but as long as they can see you putting the love out there, making sure that they know that they're very important, and yes, you are here to do everything to make them happy. I left, my husband said, my children have their own homes and blah, 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 and you've taken them out. I'm not looking after them. So that is thrown at me. I made the decision, not the children. And yet, they're going to be out of pocket. They can't get the toys they need. They want. They can't. So how do I make sure that in this journey, they're not so sure of the things they like? It makes them become haters.
Yes.
Because this is some of the things that if we don't deal with it properly, it forms the nature and the character of your child. So when by the time they've grown up, the environment is such, you will sit back and say, that's not my child, I didn't bring him up that way, but you did.
You did, because the child is learning from observing you. Observing the way you cope, the way you manage situation, the transfer of aggression and all of that.
We need to prioritize, be able to actually see. For me, I always say things are clearer when you write them down. If you have the ability, once you've stepped out, that day when you sat in your room and you've cried and you think, okay, tomorrow we've got to move on, write down the things that you need to do. If every day you'll have a checklist and tick them off and it works, do that. Because if you write down, today I must tell my child I love him 3 times, because you have written it down, you will do it.
You will.
And if you don't do that and you let the wind carry, this is serendipity, and life should not be like that. So otherwise, as I said, you become like a seaweed. Seaweed is part of the sea, but when the wind blows, when there's a tide, it's sworn onto the beach. And if the rain comes back, the sea comes back again and it's still lying there, it takes it back with you. There is no progress. So you don't want to get to the end of your destination and think, I wish I'd done this. Because if you've got things in structure, you will always get the right person who can give you the right support.
Yes.
Even if it's not in your immediate network, you will seek them out. Because
and they will actually seek you out.
Yes. I need to understand how to do this. Who can I find that can help me? You can find that even through this navigation of your journey, you make so many new friends.
Yes.
Who have the power and the strength that previously you didn't have.
Yes.
And you also need to be vulnerable. You haven't got to prove to anybody how strong you are. I left, but I cried for months. Just because I left doesn't mean that I had the strength and the power. No.
Yes.
The number of times I cried and I said, if he will apologize, I will go back. Yes. Because it was desperate.
Well, I was not even thinking of that, because I know.
That's what I was saying. That's what I mean about the journey. The journey is different for everyone.
Yes.
And admit your vulnerabilities, because otherwise you never get there. You don't. You admit. You start, okay, I said that, and then, well, I said that last week. This week I ain't saying that. No, I don't want him. I remember how he was. He ain't gonna be the same. So step by step, but with structure, with conviction. because otherwise you go through depression, and then you're going on antidepressants from your GP, your doctors, and then you're sleeping because the medication makes you sleep. Your child will leave you in the same bed going to school, and they'll come back and find you in the same
meet you
bed.
there.
And nobody's going to say you've done anything wrong, because we understand where you are. But is that where you want to be? That's not where you want to be.
And I have to say this, it takes a lot of strength, a lot of willpower, for you first as an individual, and then your support system, because that is very, very important. Who is in your tribe list? Who is a member of your tribe? Who can you call in the middle of the night? Sometimes you wake up in the middle of the night and you feel like, I want to talk with someone. Who will I call that will be there for me to pick up my call and like, are you okay? I remembered some few weeks ago, on my phone, I have like emergency contact list. So I don't know what I was doing. I changed my phone. So I don't know what happened. And I think I mistakenly sent out an emergency text. I am telling you, oh my goodness. Everybody was calling me. Are you okay? I saw your text message like in the middle of the night. And I didn't even know. The first person that woke me up, I looked at the time like I was asking her, are you okay? She was like,
I'm calling to ask
are you okay? So those are the kind of people you want in your corner. You want people that once they see it, they're calling. They can drop everything they're doing and they will come to you. And of course, with navigating, it comes with a lot of decision making, which we will be talking about in our next episode. How do you maneuver and make important decisions, like schools to go to? Do I have to move out of state? Do I have to stay in state? What do I do with this bill? How do I go about that? Like Barbara said, that she was dazed and faced with a lot of financial decision making that she, hardly was making in the past. So on this note, Barb, we should be saying, see you next time, right?
See you next time, everyone.
Take care now. Bye.
Be safe on your journey.
Your story begins here. Single again with LFA and BARBS.